Firstly, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be sitting being able to speak with you live on a Thursday morning when men should be working. When men who don't have jobs have no opportunity to work. Is there anyone out there? Is there anyone out there that would employ someone like myself? Can I read a little part of just some notes that I've taken? This is from just a few days after my daughter's birthday, 3 years ago in 2022 in Poland. It feels unreal to contemplate on this day, August the 25th, 2022, 5 days after Ava's 9th birthday, I found myself not only being rejected by my daughter, having never harmed or even raised my voice at her, and left in an empty apartment as I stare at her Christmas and birthday cards, gifts and other presents, which her mother rejected. And this prospect of a foreign prison cell, after having shown that my ex-partner was a child abuser, I face the possibility of a foreign prison. This is based on even more words from my ex-partner, the woman that was proven to have used false allegations of sexual and physical nature. I was never taken to prison. They would come to my house, they would harass me, they would put electronic tags on 1 week, they would take them off a few weeks later. The men and women sent to abuse and cause fear in my own home were Polish, and they were ashamed. They understood what I was saying to them, and the full video was available for that. The Polish police held me down and put on a leg brace so I couldn't leave or go out in restricted times. I didn't follow Poland rule. They're the abusers, and it's been proven in court, Gorzów-Wielkopolski appellate court, that it's the child abuser and it's the Polish police that have caused alarm and distress. My daughter now runs from me in fear since the year 2022. When I return from an unlawful prison sentence, if I do, Matthew will be in the same mindset. This is child abuse in Poland. I wasn't put in prison, as I've explained, but it's no secret that the mother of my children is a child abductor, is a court-documented liar and a cheat. Please don't feel you have to believe any of the words that I'm using or saying. Look at the evidence in Gorzów Appellate Court. The evidence being ignored by the Gorzów-Wielkopolski Nazi system. By Police Scotland. It was actually the DAIU, the Domestic Abuse Investigation Unit, which assisted my partner after she said she was physically and sexually assaulted by me. It took 3 years before she admitted that none of this actually happened to her. It took 3 years before she admitted that it was a women's charity that wrote down an awful story to tell the police. And they work in tandem, the DAIU, the women, and the charity, the feminist charity, work in tandem. So, I am not a stalker. I am not an abusive man. I am not and never have acted criminally or caused intentional pain, alarm or distress, fear or loss to any person. My ex and the mother of my children has made false allegations time after time. They are of the most serious nature. And that's the reason why I'm sitting in front of you today, maybe one or two people. I'm not allowed to work. Now in Scotland, although I have shown with evidence and been cleared of any of the assault, physical and sexual assaults lied about by my ex-partner, I am now known, and this is what it says. It says that I've had imprisonment for 10 months. Never been in prison. This was the prosecutor, which is a family friend of the child abusing Polish woman. It says there's a restraining order protecting the woman that alleged to be physically and sexually assaulted. She has a protection for 6 years, and I am banned from approaching the child abuser. This was for causing intentional harassment, alarm or distress. None of this was intentional. She abducted my children. She called me a rapist. She said I physically beat her every day. I've never lifted my hands, not just to her, but to any man, woman or child. Not ever. But now, Scotland stops and restricts my ability to work. There must be someone out there that, if you think I've got the ability to work, I mean, do you have the ability to give me any means of work, to give me pay? Because I need to work. I've ran and built businesses since I was a teenager. It doesn't take me a lot to make money. But when my hands are tied, when my ex-partner, who has used all these false allegations, is still assisted in Poland, I don't know how many men have been introduced to my children, but I never see them in the morning when I wake up. I don't get to know them. They don't get to call me. She doesn't take gifts from me, no presents, no Christmas, no birthdays. This is all to make sure that I'm forgotten. And it's an intentional abuse carried out by vicious, narcissistic men and women. Now for a man, I don't actually know any man that's doing this to women, but I know some women that's had it done by the man. I just simply don't know any man that has done this. Firstly, I don't know how, there's no charity set up for any man in this country. There's not been any place for a man to turn in this country, and that's why the suicide rate of men and fathers is off the chart. 400 times higher for just men, and 800 times higher for fathers that have been through divorce and lost their kids. This is well documented and it's well known. My ex-partner admitted her allegations of assault, physical, sexual, mental abuse was a story fed to her by Police Scotland and Edinburgh Women's Aid. This is what's court documented, yet I still am barred from working. Now, when I was a teenager, in my early 20s, I built a business from the ground up in Sydney, in Bondi, Australia, going door to door, business to business, selling things. Not a lot of people manage to do that. I mean, it was 1 in 1,000, if you're lucky, 1 in 1,000 men or women built a business from a position of going door to door. I didn't want to do it. I just like to work hard and I like to prove people wrong. But now, there's people coming into the country who are given clothes, who are fed, who have a roof over their head, who are given money every day, who have heat, who have hot water, and who get availability of phones and internet access. I'm at the library just now. I don't have any phone. I don't have like a working phone or airtime or anything like this. I don't have food in my house. I don't have gas heating or hot water. But if I come into this country illegally, that would be handed to me. Unlawfully coming into this country, I would be in a better position throwing my passport away and coming in unlawfully and illegal than I would be sitting here today in front of you as a legal, lawful citizen who's never committed any crime. Yet I am forced not to work in this country based on the words of a child abuser, court-documented liar, a thief. She blames Women's Aid. Women's Aid are funded charity. Police Scotland, the DAIU, the Domestic Abuse Investigation Unit, there's PCs within this that know that they are committing offences and they're doing the wrong thing. And I've had lots of these young PCs sitting in front of me and I've managed to be in front of them speaking to them. And you know, we have good police. The police in this country are good. In Scotland, they're good. The young men and women that are standing up and want to do this job, they have something about them that many people don't have. Not that I would want to do that particular job myself, but at the moment, you need to know, she called me a stalker and a molester, and she's still supported. She's still supported by her local authorities. Accusations, she was supported by the Scottish local authorities. Men, fathers, have nowhere to turn. Please tell my children that I love them, Ava and Matthew. It is, Dissy, I'm on here looking for an opportunity. I can see there's maybe one or two people on. Why would you want to watch this? Yeah. I'm just looking through a couple of things that I really need to explain to some people. Firstly, Natu, flax oil. Flax oil in itself is amazing omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9s for arthritis. And if it's mixed with fermented milk products, if you milk this oil, linseed oil, flaxseed oil, and you mix it with fermented milk products, you'll have the Budwig protocol in front of you. You eat that, it'll be the healthiest breakfast that you could ever have. Don't ask me, ask Buddha Dharma. Although you'll need to travel back in time to check up with Buddha Dharma. So he's happy. I am here. I am grounded. I am safe. I am free of fear and tension and stress. I am powerful, rooted and strong. Sounds like a woman's self-help. I am grateful for my body. I am open to receive pleasure. I am in perfect flow. I am connected to my body. I choose life. I don't choose to commit suicide and never get an opportunity to see my son and daughter. I choose to remain in this pain. I choose to remain in this place where I have no opportunity, I have no chance of making money. There is no chance of making money when Scotland stops you from making money. I'm at peace with my past. As I forgive, I grow stronger. I am supported and stable. I am learning and growing every day. I am enough. We don't give ourselves any forgiveness or self-love. And right now, as fathers or mothers who are without their children, I understand the pain. I understand every day when you have to roll out of bed, there is no purpose. There doesn't seem to be opportunities anywhere, but there's opportunities everywhere. I might have nothing, but I am abundantly rewarded. I might look as if I'm sitting still, but I move forward with joy and ease. Do I appear stressed? Because I step back, pause and gain perspective. Creativity flows. Today I choose to live in that moment. If you've got any way or means of employment for an old, ageing man in Scotland, please drop me a message down below. I don't ever ask people to drop messages or put likes or any of this stuff. It's not what I do, because all I want is fathers and mothers to be able to have time with their children. I want safe, loving parents and children to be together. There is no reason to separate children and their parents. But the thing is, illegal, unlawful authorities find ways to do that because it's a means to control children. It's a means to control a family. Anyway, no one in their right mind goes out looking for adversity, even if it can teach us useful lessons. Developing skills to cope with it. Suggested reading. Thomas Erickson, Surrounded by Psychopaths. Alan Watts, The Book and the Taboo. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. Epictetus. Seneca. Listen, thank you for sitting there watching this. I wouldn't be doing it. Find yourself a way to go to this. Mix it with some cottage cheese or quark and add some honey. Want to see some drawings? Here we have. Lucky, lucky things. Here we go. The donkey. Not can I delight in, misshapen and dumb I am, devoid of power and courage. All people pass me by, without regard, or mock me. I'm neither cold nor warm. There's nothing I can delight in. Misshapen and dumb I am. What was prevented by the mystery of Golgotha? Book of Revelation, read it. What was supposed to happen in the year 666? Consciousness and content. The mystery of Golgotha explained, revealed. Because something is on its way here very soon. People aren't being nice to one another. We've lost touch with our humanity. Something is coming to change things here very soon. It doesn't matter if you're in the UK or Europe or the States or India, Africa, Asia, who knows. The Academy of Gandhi Shapur tried to give the knowledge of 666, the development of consciousness. This takeover failed. But now something big is going on in our reality. Right now something big is going on. There's no chance that we ignore the abuse of children and just flick up and go to the next page and, wait a minute, that man was talking about abused children. Let me ignore him and go and go and watch something with some naked boys or girls in. Islam. For the place of what's have come from Gandhi Shapur. The schools of sages wanted to achieve, like secret societies and mystery societies. They're looking for us to develop early. What does that mean? Looking for us to develop early. They plan to inculcate people's souls with this wisdom, and thus letting the soul take part in death after passing these souls will fail to develop and may be cut. Where are you going to be cut from? You're going to be cut off from the future life. What does that mean? Future life and development. Tearing us from earthly development. I guess this was prevented by the mystery of Golgotha. You must see that things are not in the right place right now. You must see that people are asleep, but they're enjoying the dream. They're enjoying this sleep. I need to find some work. I need to get employment. We need to stop Scotland from making... I'm a capable man. I can stand up and walk, and I can maybe have 2 or 3 sentences blend together. It can seem like I'm intelligent at times. It's not just all ramble like this. I know there's ways of communicating. I used to run a marketing company. I built a marketing company from the ground up. I believe in all these principles. I've seen them that they work. The C principle, smile, eye contact, enthusiasm. It works. It's a marketing job that works. The C principle. The gift principle. Now, the gift principle is something that you use as a utility belt. That's your gifts if you want to sell to this person. Now, what is gifts? Firstly, greed. Greed. Everyone wants this. Indifference, but you don't care. Fear of loss, but it's only here today. The Jones theory, next door's got it. Sense of urgency, because they bought it today. This is marketing, this is sales. But I'm not allowed to get a job in marketing. What you see? A little drawing. This is believe in him. Believe. Here we go. Yeah, like to draw, imagination, inspiration, intuition. They say that's the three important things. I thought you seen that you believed in them. You might want to see the offering. No one there to see the offering, but you can get to see it. There's no actual people there. But hey, this is it. Received and nurtured of women wonderfolk, he comes and sees and hears, lusted after and desired, and offers his little tear, despised and revered. He has joy and danger, believes doubts, imagines and teaches, holds nothing and everything true, built and destroyed, and always tormented, sleeps, wakes, grows and consumes. His children are still barren, held back, wears brown and grey hair. And all this lasts, if it gets high, 80 years. Then he lies down with his fathers, and he never comes back again. Unless he's listened and followed the word. The red rag. The red rag. I think it's supposed to be a bull. Lucifer and Aaron. Here we go. You know, scientists recently found a potential treatment for the antibiotic-resistant superbug MRSA. Do you know where they found it? In Bald's leech book. That's a medical text from the 9th century. A medical text from the 9th century had a treatment that we've just found for superbug MRSA. So this is from the 9th century. It's a salve made from onions, leeks, garlic, and cow bile. So if you have got those 4 magic ingredients, onions, leeks, garlic and cow bile, then you can treat MRSA successfully. Good job. There's lots and lots more to go through, and to be fair, I have lots and lots of time and lots of spare time to waste. Now, you know that I am unemployable in Scotland. We cannot employ this man because this man is a criminal. So says a woman. But if you have any potential employment opportunities, I would love them. If you want to buy some great oil, go to eBay and buy Natu. Why would you want to buy Natu? Because it's called the Budvig diet. It's natural, no drugs, no supplements. Great food, scientifically proven, gentle, holistic, easy to follow, tried and tested, and inexpensive. Now, why would we want something like this? Maybe because it's been proven for overall health benefits, for osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, acne, anxiety, asthma, cardiovascular disease, cancer, cholesterol, constipation, COPD, diabetes, digestive issues, depression, eczema, heart disease, hormone imbalance, hypertension, IBS, infertility, obesity, PCOS, psoriasis, stress, as well as autoimmune, degenerative and anti-inflammatory conditions. So why would you try the Budvig protocol? The Budvig protocol is available and it's cheap. Now, you can contact me here, Natu. Look for it on eBay. And your body, I am very, very healthy, and I'd prefer not to be. Not that I prefer not to be, just that I don't want to wake up most mornings. Don't want to be doing this. I want to have a meaningful business. I want to have meaningful employment. And I want to see my children like any parent would want to do. I want to know them and I want them to know me. It is unnatural for a child not to want to know their parents. It's unnatural for a child to be held back and taught to hate a parent. But they've normalised that in Poland. We are normalising this in Scotland. We're normalising parents to hate children. And normally it's done by one good parent, normally putting down one bad parent. And in this situation, I am the bad parent. Yes, I proved that I wasn't a rapist. Yes, I've shown with evidence that I didn't beat her, attack her, assault her. But it doesn't matter, because I'm Scottish, I'm a man and I'm white, and they don't want people like me to have relationships with their children. I appreciate you listening. Thanks for popping by. Thanks to the one person that's liked this silly story. Thanks to the many people who have come on and passed by and sat for a few minutes to listen. But you will pass from death to rebirth. Man in his totality is not an earth being, becoming a servant of the higher hierarchies. Get things right. He's on his way back. And you need to find some sort of connection, and that starts with reading his book. It's the best book in the world. It's the most printed, most published, most read book in the world. And it's a copy is not held at this library. I do love this library. And although that may seem at odds with the way I speak about things, you would think I don't like women and mothers, but I do. Obviously love my own mother. I obviously love women. Maybe that's not what society's looking for, men that love women. But I miss my children every single day. I wake up and I don't get to know my son or daughter. My son's only 8 years old, my daughter's birthday next month, she's going to be 12. Anyone can be angry. Anyone can be angry. That's easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that's not easy. We need to stop parental alienation. It's terrorism against your children's heart, mind and soul. I'm so broken at the pain and suffering, the years of hate daddy, just to feel safe. Teaching children to hate half of who they are, so you can win an argument and be the better parent. It is with the heart one sees rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Other than God's word, the greatest blessing for any period moving on to the following period are the imperfections and those works that have not been made perfect. Look at Leonardo da Vinci. Consider the great amount of unfinished work after his death left to be brought to life in the following years, following epochs. Finished work, inspired, but the unfinished work, the imperfect, it's a left opportunity. Zero people watching, that's what I like. Loneliness is the closest that we can come to death. After passing through the gates of death, we're prepared in life what is to come. We do not live in ourselves, and after death, a human being becomes a macrocosmic being. expanding into the whole of the universe. Maybe I want you to get in contact with Gorzów Wielkopolski. They're holding my children hostage. My children is Eva and Matthew Day. They're being abused in Poland. All I want is for word to get to them that Joseph, me, their father, loves them. I think about them every single day. Before I go to sleep, I say a prayer for them. I ask that we can be reunited, and I ask for anyone that can hear this to help mothers and fathers, to help the abused children, and not to help the abuser. If someone's made false allegations of being physically, sexually, and mentally tortured, and you've proven that to be false, after years of ruining a father's life, you have to help that father. You have to help that father. You have to help those children. If that woman can do that to that man, think what they're doing to the children. Think what these Polish women who cried all kinds of inexcusable lies to be assisted in child abuse. Women's Aid, a charity, still helps these women. And I would love Women Aid on here to approach me, to speak to me, and show that the people working with them, they have consciousness, they have characters, and they will not be infiltrated any further, and they will not abuse children any longer, and they will not assist abusive women any longer. Thank you to all the appreciated characters. Thank you to the bourgeois Philistines. If democracy is to endure, it must be brave enough to call a spade, even if it means bearing witness against itself. Gorzów Wielkopolski, you're abusing children. Simple words from self and other. We can choose to understand now or understand later. Children are being abused. I choose now. I choose we understand now. Last part, because I'm seeking an explanation for what's actually going on. I want to be a realist, not an idealist. The countries and nations of Europe no longer have a relationship with one another. The governing circles, the leaders of the nations, have no relationship with the population. Those that want to work out and find a new relationship with radical means, they have no relationship with reality. The sickness of the state organism snatches leadership away from good sense and hands responsibility for decisions of the state to all sorts of minor influencers and secondary considerations. It inhibits freedom of growth and freedom of movement. It fragments the national will and usually leads to a major instability of governments, which we've seen in Scotland. They want unstable governments and an unstable population that lives in fear. The loss of wealth brought about by the very obvious measures over the last few years have created catastrophe. Good sense for all of the states of the UK is totally gone. The crisis of the state and the worldwide organisation have only exacerbated matters. The worldwide organisations are controlling our governments. They're not a helping hand. They're not leading the way. They're the abusers. They're the influencers. They're the people keeping your children away from you and keeping your eye off the ball. Preparation, enlightenment, initiation. You don't need to attain higher worlds. You just need to get an idea of what's going on in this one. Children are being abused. As mothers and fathers, we have to step up and stop this abuse. We're living at a time when fair is foul and foul is fair. To receive trouble is to receive good fortune. To receive agreement is to receive opposition. Disillusionment. Don't let that guide you. Over half an hour. Thank you very much. I hope the message gets to my son and daughter. Matthew, Ava, Daddy loves you, misses you, thinks of you every single day, prays for you every single day. I know one day that as a community and as a country, we're going to feel the shame, the disrespect for having caused the pain to our children and to our communities and fathers and mothers. We need to stop restricting fathers and children, and we need to stop restricting human rights. Disclosure Scotland, I would appreciate if you remove my name from this criminal listing so I can gain meaningful employment. Disclosure Scotland, I've never committed a crime. I've never been held in prison, and I am not a criminal. The woman that made these allegations, it's been proven in court, was a liar. A liar is a very serious word to use, as you know that in court. And that's what she is, she's a liar. If a woman lies about something so serious, and you continue to trust this woman, and she continues to lie, she only continues to abuse you and abuse children. Gorzhov-Wielkopolski, the child abuse scandal, it's being assisted by the Scottish Government. Women's charities are starting to reach out and they're starting to send emails, and they don't want to be the abuser. They don't want to be funded abusers. Still they are. But that changes when the people within these charities change, and they have compassion, and they reach out, and they assist the child, not the abuser, just because she's a woman. Thanks very much for your time. Take care.